Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZZ back with another video, and today I'm going to be going over the biggest losers of the most recent Dragon Ball FighterZ patch 1.31. So there's going to be no honorable mention because I feel like all these characters have pretty solid arguments for why they are in this list, and so having an honorable mention doesn't really need to be there because I feel like overall the entire roster got buffed. It's just that these particular characters feel they actually got nerfed, or they just didn't get enough, or were changed for no reason, which we'll get into as we go through this list. So without wasting any more time, let's just go into number 5. Alright, number 5 goes to Android 21 Lab Coat. So a lot of people might have a big problem with how I placed her. A lot of people would probably say that she was the number 1 loser on this list, but I don't really think that's the case because she's still a top tier character. So I'm just going to go over all of her changes real quickly, and so I'll explain why I believe she's this low, but still a loser of the patch. So both of her EX tackle moves got increased scaling, so now they won't do as much damage when they get comboed into. So this used to lead into TLDs, and now it just seems like normal combos. So that's good. All of her stomp moves have lowered damage. So I believe all of these used to do over 1,000 damage, and now they're more in the 600 to 800 range. And they also increased the scaling of it, so if you do this raw, you won't get as much damage as you did before. Her beam got slower, so it actually links up with a lot of other characters in the game, like Super Saiyan Goku, Krillin, Gotenks. So now it is 17 frames, so it's not gapless anymore. Her ball super, which is this guy right here, so this one has added recovery, so now you cannot stomp afterwards and get a level 2. So as you can see, I can't get the stomp there, so they added more recovery to it. And also the debuff. So the debuff has changed a lot. So now you cannot combo into it anymore. So as you can see, oops. So it will not combo anymore, as you can see. Next, they actually increased the scaling when DHC'd. So if you do something like this, and then you do this, it actually will do less damage than before. So back in the previous patch, you would get the full damage. Well, now you get the scaled version of level 1s, so that's good. They increased the meter penalty of this move, so I'm going to drain 21's ki here, and then we'll see how long it lasts. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to ki charge. So as you can see, it took a really long time for 21 to obtain meter again. So they actually increased the meter penalty. And then lastly, they actually delayed the invul of the level 1. So I'm gonna have her mash on first frame, and so as you can see, it's the game is taking my meter, but I'm actually getting counter hit because the invul has not started up yet. So they actually delayed the invulnerability of the debuff. Now you still can get, that. You can still get that because 21 is further than, other 21's light attack. So, she's literally just outside the range. So if you don't have a 5L that goes far enough, you can still get, beaten out by this move. But if you're doing something like, jab into grab, then you're really not going to, it's really not going to work if they're fuzzy mashing. So that's all of her nerfs. And the reason why I have her at number 5 is that she still has all of her amazing tools. Like, she still has this. She still has this, which is frame 1 ki blast invul, so neutral is not an issue for her. She has this move that's still frame 1 anti-air, so you can't super dash her. It's just that both of these options do less damage, but now it's like you do less damage, but you still get the hit confirm. Like, you still get a combo. Like, they didn't take away the combo ability of this move. So if I do that, oops, I don't know how to play 21, so I'm sorry. So like, you still get a combo from it. So it's like, you know, just lowering the damage didn't really do that much. It just made her more normalized. All of the stomps are still lows. So she still has like 6 different lows in her block string. She has this, she has this, she has these two, and then she has this. And then she has this. So like, she still has a shit ton of lows in her block string. So they didn't really take away that property of this move. You know, this is just normalized now. This wasn't really even a nerf at all. It really wasn't. And then her ball super was pretty effective as a nerf. This really dramatically cut down her damage, because she used to get like level 3s from level 1s, like level 4s. Like, she used to do a shit ton of damage with meter, but now she's more normalized. So I guess that's a fair nerf. I feel like she still could have kept this, you know, do ball into stomp into ball super, because now you can't combo into this. So I feel like, you know, that was a fair enough nerf that she could have kept her level 2, but that's neither here nor there. So above all else, she still has amazing tools. Like, she still has her amazing Ki Blast. Beam is still a beam. This goes full screen. You know, this is unsafe on block now. I forgot to mention that, but it's unsafe on block, so now you have to use an assist to stay safe. But yeah, she still has her amazing tools. Like, she's still top 5 in the game. Like, that didn't change at all. So that's why I have her as a number 5 contender, because it didn't really change her placement. It just made her more normalized, but she still has all of her amazing tools. Like, she still has a good assist spread. You know, she still has, you know, all of her good main qualities to her. It's just that it's just more normalized now. So yeah, Lab Coat 21, number 5. Okay, number 4 on my list goes to Super Saiyan Vegeta. So actually, Vegeta actually got buffed this patch, which was actually kind of surprising to me, because I feel like they wasn't really going to touch this character, but they actually gave him a good amount of quality of life changes. So just to go over them, his auto combo is now -2. All of his mediums are -5, which makes him safe on block. 5S is -2. His medium kick is safe on block now, and as well has increased damage. His 5H goes further now, so now he can anti-reflect from any of his normals. So that was a good buff. His Corsical Forward S series is now faster, so now you can confirm with it in neutral. You know, if you do something like this and they get hit, you can do something like that. Jump 2L, which is this guy right here, is actually faster on startup now, so you can actually get it to 12 frames. It's still not an overhead, which, you know, I feel like they should have made it an overhead by now, but whatever. And then finally, his Corsical Forward Heavy kick can actually be comboable anywhere on screen. So back then you can only combo from it like from this range, but now you can do it anywhere, as you can see. So all around, Vegeta did get buffed. I'm not gonna deny that. But my main issue is that Vegeta is still outdated. And what I mean by that is Vegeta doesn't really have any real oppressive tools. Like, for example, he has good Ki Blast, right? We can all agree about that. His Ki Blasts are really good, but the way you get in with this character is most of the time with this move. And guess what they didn't change about it? He is still -13 on block. And guess what? This move does not have any Ki Blast invul at all. So if I have Vegeta Ki Blast me here, so as you can see, Vegeta has no Ki Blast invul, it doesn't deflect Ki Blast. It's not, you know, it's not a side switch. Like, it doesn't have any special properties other than the fact that it's really fast. That is it. And it's still negative on block, so you have to do something like this. And then get a combo. So, not only is that outdated, but his assists are outdated. This move has been basically counteracted to death. This assist is literally not a threat anymore because all you have to do is reflect twice and the assist is non-existent. His B assist is also outdated in the fact that the distance is not good at all. And in comparison, we have Gogeta here, who goes pretty much full screen, or actually full screen, and then look at Vegeta, barely meets half screen. So that's outdated. And then his C assist is actually outdated as well, which is surprisingly because that's one of his newer assists. But the block stun on it is not good. They actually nerfed the tracking on it, so now you can basically just super jump it now. And then even when you block in the air, so I'm gonna have Vegeta block this in the air now. So if he's jumping, right, it has good amount of block stun, but the opponent can still keep jumping, right? So it's like you're not mixing anybody off this. If I can actually, yeah, so it's like your opponent can still jump afterwards. So it's like all of his assists are outdated. Now you could make the argument that Vegeta is a point character now, and so him having a good assist doesn't really matter. But to my rebuttal, I have Gogeta and base Vegeta here. Both have multiple assists that are good. Gogeta has his A assist and his C assist, which most people don't use the C assist, but I would still say it's a rather good one. You know, it's a beam, it has decent block stun, and then it can also track the opponent anywhere if I get him to not guard. So it tracks anywhere and you get a full combo. So Gogeta at least has two really good assists. And his B assist isn't really terrible, it's just more situational than a lot of other assists. But he still has a good assist spread. And then Vegeta, even though he still has the exact same, you know, super dash kick as Super Saiyan Vegeta, he has one of the best assists in the game, that being this one. This is a disc that goes full screen, it covers jump height, and is really easy to combo off of because of the fast startup, as you can see there. And it also goes through Ki Blast since it's a disc. So literally both of these point characters have one, if not multiple, good assists as a point character. And Vegeta's only good assist is this, which has been outdated for 4 years now. It's like, it's kind of not good enough anymore. So basically my main point is that Vegeta's on this list just due to the fact of how outdated he feels. Now you can still get some mix-ups with this character. You know, if you have a high block stun assist, you can 50-50 with this. None of my characters actually give me that, so but just, you know, for an example, like if you do something like this, you know, you can float here, as you can see. You can float. So he can still get mix-ups, you know, as a point character, especially in the corner, which is where Vegeta is best at. You do something like this, you know, he still gets good mix in the corner. But in terms of everything else, like, he just feels so outdated as a support character. Like, as a point character, like on screen, like this, like he's good. Like he can give you stuff like this. You know, he gives you a lot of meter. You know, his meter gain isn't terrible, as you can see here. Like I'm trying to make my case here, which is why I'm going really in depth here. Like his meter gain is not bad. You know. Like 2 bars right there. And then you can now waste it on level 1s. Like his meter gain is fine, his damage is okay. Like the only thing is that he sucks as a support because literally every single assist he has is outdated. Like it's not up to par with the rest of the assists in the cast. Even for lower tier characters like Nappa, like Nappa is on the lower echelon of the character roster, and his A and B assists are freaking stupid. Like, they're really good. So why can't this character have at least one really good assist? It's just kind of maddening at this point. But do I think he's a good character? Yes and no, depending on my day. But I do think, like I said, he's outdated and he didn't really get the buffs he needed. He got some good buffs, especially this one. Oops. Especially this buff. This buff right here changes a lot about the character, because now you can actually rely on this as a good get-in tool, because whether or not the opponent gets hit or blocked or not, if you're, playing Vegeta as a point character, if they block it, you have an assist to cover you, and then if you hit it, you get a full screen conversion. That's really easy. And like I said, he's still a good tag character. He can give you stuff like this. It's just that him as a support character is very outdated, and that's why I have him on this list. Alright, number 3 goes to Z Broly. So Z Broly kinda got nerfed and buffed at the exact same time, and so I feel like it kinda counterbalanced the things they did change, but also not in a very effective way. So I'm gonna go over the buffs they gave him. So pretty much the major buff is the fact that his 2L is now 0 on block. So if I have the opponent block here, so now you can actually stagger this a lot better since it's 0. It's 8 frames, so most likely than not, your opponent can mash and be fine. But Broly still has armored moves, so if they try to challenge you, you can just do that. But the fact that he has a 0 on block move is still really good, and considering how far this reaches, this is a really far button to be 0 on block. So I feel like that was a good little buff there. And then also all of his command grabs have increased distance with his charge. So his anti-air one goes pretty much full screen when you charge it. So Zamasu and other characters like him don't have full control of the screen anymore. His medium one is the exact same way. And then his grounded command grabs as well. So now they go a lot further when you charge it up. And he still has armor on them. So if you try to hit him out of this, most likely you're just gonna get absorbed by Broly. So I feel like these two things were a good buff. Something for Broly to do a little bit more. But the reason why I have him on this list is 2 changes. They changed his 2M and his 5S. So I'm gonna have that turned off. So Broly's 2M used to actually be safe on block. I believe it was -5, but now it's actually the same as his 5M, which is -11. So these actually match up. So this nerfs his staggers a little bit. He still has safe lights and stuff like that. So his stagger game isn't really that much nerfed, but it's still a pretty significant nerf, because having a safe low attack is really good in this game, and the fact that they took that away from Broly is going to affect how you stagger with this character, because pretty much the only thing you have now is just light attacks that you can stagger with. And to be fair, his light attacks are really far, so it's not that much of a loss, like I said, but it still affects his stagger game regardless. And then the next nerf is 5S. So they actually made this -9 on block, which means he's actually punishable here. He can still cancel into other moves from this. So if your opponent is gonna mash on you, you can still do this and get armor and be safe. You can do it with that. If you really want to challenge your opponent, you still got command grab. He still has options outside of Ki Blast, but most people use this as a stagger tool at close range, which I feel like, honestly, I feel like this really isn't a big deal, but I still think it's significant enough to make him a loser of this patch, because it might not mean a lot close range, but far range, with the increased recovery on it, his zoning kind of got nerfed as well. Now you can actually super jump him a lot easier and get in. He can still 2H you if you super dash, right? He still has that mechanic. But if you're just purely super jumping his ki blast while he's shooting you like this, you know, you're not going to be able to recover enough to actually punish. Back then, you weren't able to punish Broly most of the time because he would recover too fast. So now, it's a lot easier to deal with his zoning. So I feel like this was a good little nerf. His 2M nerf was kind of unnecessary as well. I feel like they could have just kept it the same way. But I actually really do like this nerf. It makes it, you know, way more easier to deal with his neutral. Considering the fact that he still has like a really good anti-air grab. You know, he still has a good grounded grab. His projectiles still eat ki blasts. Like, he still has good neutral. So that hasn't changed about the character. But like I said, these changes were significant enough to put him on this list, though I don't feel like they were crucial in nerfing the core of this character. So yeah, that's the Broly. Alright, number 2 on my list goes to Gotenks. So Gotenks actually overall got some neat little buffs, but I think the core of the character got hit really hard. So I'm just gonna go over the couple little buffs they gave him, and then I'll go over his main issue. So his 5LL, or 5L, this one, 5LL. Oh well, actually, I can't get it anymore. There we go. So this one, his kick, I don't know why it's coming out now. Anyway, his second L, which is the little kick here, so that actually got faster. So now doing combos with his auto combo is going to be a lot easier to do. They reduced recovery on 5M, so now it's safe on block. So now you can end your block strings with this and be fine. They gave him the beam into super dash buff. So pretty much everybody that has a grounded beam or projectile can super dash after, you know, after their beam and get a combo. But then actually this next one can be a buff or a nerf. I'm not actually sure. That's up to Gotenks players to figure out for themselves. But this move has actually gotten faster and actually has increased distance on it. So as you can see, Gotenks goes a lot faster around on screen, as you can see. But the thing about this is, because he goes so fast, the opponent can actually drop out of it. As you can see, if I can get it right, yep. So the opponent can actually drop out if they move too fast, or, you know, move out, like move the opposite way. So this might be a nerf or a buff. I'm actually not completely sure. So that's enough. I feel like that's something that Gotenks players are gonna have to figure out. So I would say this is a nerf and a buff at the exact same time. But the reason why I have Gotenks on this list is because of Ghost Oki. So they actually increased the recovery of this move to -60, and so now the very core of the character has been changed fundamentally. So I'm gonna do this. Oops. I'm sorry, I don't know how to play Gotenks, but so something like this. Oops. Actually, this is the better way to show it off. So if your opponent tries to vanish, so I'm gonna do this combo, end it with DR, and then I'm gonna back up and then do Ghost. Actually, I think I did it pretty slow. But yeah, basically that setup is nuked now. So Gotenks cannot get Ghost Oki off of DRs anymore. Let me see if I can actually make it tighter. Yeah. So now I'm gonna mash 2H, and I can't 2H Gotenks anymore. So I believe that this setup still works at this height. So I'm gonna mash 2H now. Yeah, so like you can still 2H, you just have to time it better. But the fact that they added so much recovery kind of changes how you play Gotenks. Like, you still want to do Ghost Oki, but you want to make sure that literally every combo that you get pretty much ends this way. Instead of, you know, basically getting any knockdown. You know, you can't just do DR and then freaking, you know, back up, do Ghost. Like, that's neutered now. So this really isn't that... It changes how you play Gotenks, but I feel like this was a big enough change to where he should be included on this list because of the added recovery. So I don't think he's the biggest loser of this patch because Ghost Oki still exists. You know, like I said, you can still do it from super jump height and then still 2H from the vanish. And then I'm pretty sure Gotenks has a new setup now. I heard from the people on Twitter that Gotenks has a new setup, which I'm not going to emulate because I'm not good with this character. But if you just look around on, you know, Twitter for Gotenks tech, I'm pretty sure they'll have a new setup, you know, in the workings. So I feel like this was a big enough change to put him on this list, but not big enough to make him number 1. So with that being said, let's actually jump onto the number 1 spot. Okay, number 1 on my list goes to Android 21. So you guys could probably already guess why she's on this list, and it's because of her level 3 nerf. So all the things that they changed about her other than that don't really matter. Like I said, the core issue here is that 21's level 3 got nerfed. So as you can see, back then I believe she was like plus 32 or something like that, and now she's only plus 18. So what this means is that she cannot safe jump anymore. Now here's the thing, I don't like this character. I don't like the way she looks. I don't like how most people play her, but I wouldn't lie. I can't lie and say that she was completely unfair, right? I think a lot of people would disagree with me on that. Like back then, you know, in the previous patch, that she was unfair, but I feel like she was one of the more balanced top tiers in the entire game. There was a certain ceiling to her. You know, all the stuff that you need to know about her. You know, the fact that she can't SKD all the time, how to use her steals, how to properly use her command grab, how to do the level 3 setup, you know, how to DHC into her at the right moments, how her neutral works. Like, there was certain things about this character that you had to know in order to play her optimally, and that's what I believe counterbalanced the fact that she had one of the best level 3s in the game. And this also the fact that a lot of people in the community always talks about how offense in this game doesn't feel rewarding at all because defense and unga bunga shit just makes, you know, the game feel more scrambly and unfun to play. And then they complain about characters like Android 21 having actual setups that have you make a decision, and if you're wrong, then you're wrong. But like, for some reason, base Vegeta can have his level 3, which gives him high-low mix-up. Android 18 can give you 4-way. Krillin gives you 4-way. Like there's so many characters with good level 3s, and so it felt so weird to me that she specifically got targeted as the character that needed to get nerfed. And the devs listened to them. Now she can't even safe jump anymore. I know there is this setup that people like are starting to do with her now, but it's just not as good as what it used to be. So I feel like that this level 3 change pretty much neutered the character and basically made her just a neutral character for the most part. Like, most of the time you're not wanting to end, you know, combos with level 3s anymore because, you know, the fact that she can't get SKD off of anything, I feel like kind of justified her getting this, but that's just me, right? Her other level 3 kind of got changed as well. She can still safe jump. It actually now mirrors the lab coat version of her, which now she is plus 28. So I'm pretty sure she can safe jump from this level 3. So I feel like that this one is gonna be in a lot more play going forward. But I feel like this change was just completely nonsense, and that's why I have her as number 1, because now you're gonna have to fundamentally change how you play this character. Now, do I think she's any less of a top tier? We'll see, right? Lab Coat 21 exists, Vegito is still a threat, and yes, I intentionally didn't put him on this list because adding recovery to his 5M didn't change anything about the character. You know, Android 17, Gogeta Blue, Gogeta 4, like all those characters are still top tier, and some characters actually got buffed, like 17 and Gogeta 4. So it's like 21 is definitely going to take a hit from this in terms of the meta. How much so, I have no freaking clue, because she still has some of the best neutral in the game. She still has really good buttons, like she has good 2M, she has a 3M, she still has EX Ball with steals, like she still has good tools. It's just that her main tool just got neutered, and so this is going to change how you fundamentally play her. And that's why I have her number 1 on the list, because literally every other character pretty much plays the exact same as they would have before, but now the way you play this character is completely different. You're pretty much gonna have to play the mid game and play neutral with her. Like her level 3 Oki is gone. So that's why I have her as number 1. So with that being said, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stuff in the future. And be sure to ring that bell as well so you're always notified for when I upload in the future. Let me know in the comments, do you think my list is a bit over exaggerated? Do you think somebody else should be on the list? Do you think I should have had an honorable mention like Trunks, or maybe Janemba or something like that? Maybe some other characters that I didn't mention in this list, but I feel like this one didn't really need one because pretty much everybody else got buffed in this patch. It was really only these core characters that got any amounts of nerfs. So, that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Sayonara.